Poker is a game that demands a person to maintain control of his nerves and know what to do in the event of a dispute. There have been numerous feuds in the world of poker, but some have a stronger stance than others due to their outcomes. In this video, we'll examine the first fist fight between two poker players, Sam Grizzle and Phil Hellmuth. The two players always sat next to each other at the table, constantly verbally abusing and taunting one another, and they were arguably best known for their rivalry. In the years leading up to the poker boom, the two supposedly got into a huge fight. We'll start with Philip Jerome Hellmuth Jr. He's an American professional poker player who was born in Madison, Wisconsin in 1964 and dropped out of the University of Wisconsin to pursue full-time poker. Hellmuth won an insane all-time record of 17 World Series of Poker bracelets. He even won the main event of the 1989 World Series of Poker and the 2012 World Series of Poker Europe, earning him a seat in the legendary WSOP's Poker Hall of Fame. It's not difficult to envision other players clashing with the Poker Brat. The amount of people who have encountered Phil at some point in their careers is large, but the Hellmuth conflict that took things to the next level was his fight with Sam Grizzle, a name that will be familiar to older poker buffs. Do you remember this poker player? Let us know in the comments below, as it is less familiar to newer players. Grizzle was an old-school hustler known for creating and squandering bankrolls faster than most people could blink. His poker skills were good enough to earn over $1 million in career tournament prizes, but maintaining that money was another story for this Las Vegas gambler. When Grizzle and Hellmuth shared a table, it was guaranteed to be a lot of trash talking and poking needles, yet behind the cameras were grins and a mutual distaste for things. If looks could kill, in unguarded moments, both players would be dead from each other's stares. The conflict between Grizzle and Hellmuth was over something that no one believed at first. It happened because Hellmuth couldn't cover Grizzle's seat at the table. It infuriated him, so he requested Hellmuth to meet him in the casino parking lot in Las Vegas. However, the brawl ended as quickly as it began, with Grizzle landing a hard single punch on the much taller Hellmuth, demonstrating that the streetwise hustler had far more of an edge away from the tables, knocking the poker brat on his ass. While many people marvel at how the poker brat gets away with his rants without being attacked, Grizzle famously hit him in the parking lot, resulting in a black eye and a bloody nose. Grizzle's sharp tongue and penchant for pulling no punches left an influence on many other players throughout the years. Although the disagreements between Grizzle and Hellmuth were pleasant, and always ended with a nice chuckle, they were what's called in the digital world frenemies. The fistfight that erupted demonstrated to the world that it doesn't matter if you're tall or short, what matters is how you act in that time. Even though the blow hit Hellmuth like a brick, eventually he sustained no significant injuries. Hellmuth was a much bigger guy as compared to Grizzle, but Grizzle still won the fist fight against him. Can you believe that? Best fight ever, cause no one was hurt, Hellmuth told the media, even though he was at the losing end. This shows that their rivalry was nothing serious, except the occasional drama it caused at the poker tables. ESPN revealed the Grizzle and Hellmuth feud during a live broadcast of the 2003 World Series of Poker main event, which took place at the former Binion's Horseshoe in downtown Las Vegas. "Sam decked Phil. You gotta like Sam's chances in any fist fight," stated Norman Chad on the telecast. For many poker fans who were introduced to the game during the online poker boom at the turn of the century, the 2003 WSOP was one of those breakthrough moments that grabbed players. Grizzle was part of 441 Productions' unique approach to telling the tale of the largest game in poker. 2003 feels like yesterday, although it was more than 20 years ago. The Vegas landscape was still an old man's game, with Phil Hellmuth considered a young buck in his late 30s rather than a cartoonish version of himself. However, spectators at home, who were new to low-stakes online poker, imagined Moneymaker as the young unknown swimming in Vegas with sharks and the old guard. Grizzle symbolized the old guard, someone who dressed casually but could fit 20 huge bills in their jacket pocket. During that episode of the 2003 WSOP main event, viewers were treated to a hand between Grizzle and Hellmuth with a low stack. Grizzle beat Hellmuth's ace-queen with a king-jack and flopped a pair of kings. Grizzle turned trips and Hellmuth went on tilt when Grizzle doubled up. Before we continue, please subscribe to our channel for more poker videos. Mike Matusow tweeted that Grizzle unfortunately suffered a stroke while participating in an online poker tournament. When Grizzle went down, he was leading in chips. If that's the case, and Grizzle died as a chip leader in an online tournament, that only adds to the Grizzled legend's extraordinary madness. Sam's death completely shocked the poker community because of how sudden it was. So what really happened? Sam Grizzle died in 2020 from a severe stroke, according to his friends and family. Grizzle was at the age of 67. Mike Matusow was the first to report the news on Twitter, stating that Grizzle had suffered a massive brain hemorrhage and was in critical condition at a Vegas hospital. Furthermore, Matusow urged the poker community to pray for Grizzle's health. Todd Brunson verified the awful news, claiming that Grizzle suffered a severe stroke and a brain aneurysm. Brunson said that Grizzle was in a coma and that physicians pulled the plug, stating that there was no hope for him to revive. And on the next day, doctors eventually turned off the popular poker player's life support. Brunson referred to Sam Grizzle as one of the most colorful characters in poker. He went on to say that Grizzle's approach to the game was quite different from today's robot gamers. Finally, Brunson stated that the poker community will miss him, particularly his annoying but usually hilarious lines. Grizzle's role in the poker world is best exemplified by his digital wake. When the news emerged on Twitter, the reaction was not somber. Instead, the poker community erupted in a huge exchange of hilarious Sam Grizzle stories, a heartfelt tribute to an old-school figure and an unrepentant rogue. Even though the poker community will remember Sam Grizzle as a funny character full of wisecracks, he was also a successful live poker player with a number of outstanding legendary results. According to his poker profile, he has amassed over $1.3 million in live cash since the late 1980s. The remarkable element about that number is that Grizzle never had a single six-figure score, implying that he played a lot of poker tournaments and won a lot of money from it. That shows how skilled the player was. He loved the World Series of Poker and had made it to the final table multiple times, but he unfortunately never won a gold bracelet. His highest WSOP finish was third. In fact, his finest success came just a few months before his death. Sam Grizzle competed in the online version of the WSOP, which was hosted on WSOP.com, and finished third in event number 10. $600 no-limit hold'em monster stack, winning a total of $77,725. He went on to win multiple times after that, 6 more cash prizes in the online World Series of Poker, demonstrating his perseverance and determination. Phil Hellmuth and Sam Grizzle were bickering with each other all the time they were at a poker table. It might be just drama or entertainment, but do you think they sorted things out before Sam died? Or will Phil regret their fight for the rest of his life? Tell us what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel before you leave so we can bring you more poker drama.